In the year 1941, an American political scientist who went by the name Harold Lasswell writes up an essay in the American Journal of Sociology. His essay, The Garrison State, goes on to describe the concept where countries and nations would be created to serve to the interest of army and military organizations, and not the other way around. He also described certain key characteristics of the garrison states, and these were militarization of society, like of normal people, and their mandatory inclusion in the army training. Abolishment of your civil liberties, which could basically be suspended any time by the superimposition of national emergency. Third, constant state of surveillance and fear. Fourth, perpetual threat narrative. We're going to be in war with this country, we'll be in war with that country, and overall leading to a complete prioritization of defense sector, its spending, allocation of resources, while ignoring the other important aspects of the nation, sectors like healthcare and education, have been receiving far less attention and grants than defense. He also talked about a specialist in violence, to coin the term, and saw the rise of military elites in the society compared to people involved in normal occupations of life. If you collect all these principles and apply to the current times, you will not have a very difficult time figuring out which country I am referring to. Yes, the modern example of a garrison state, the epitome, Pakistan. And why I'm saying this, try to understand the life of Pakistan as a country and of its own people ever since the independence. Let's try to understand the interplay of Pakistani citizen, its military organization, and the government in the last 75 years. Let's first talk about the political stability and the governance. In short, in the last 75 years, none of the prime ministers, democratically elected prime ministers, have technically been able to finish the 5 years in the office, given to the rise of military interventions and social instability. There have been four major coup-ups, four major toppling, where army generals went on to overthrow the current democratically elected government in Pakistan and then came to power. This started with General Ayub Khan, then it was General Yahya Khan in 71, who was basically defeated by Indira Gandhi. Then it was Ziaul Haq, and finally Parvez Musharraf. In fact, if you just leave last 10 to 15 years, none of the prime ministers came very close. There was one before, but yeah, overall the situation has been very dismal and unstable in Pakistan when it comes to democratically elected government completing their tenure. Then let's talk about the Pakistan becoming a nuclear state, which it is very proud of and often uses against India. How did Pakistan become a nuclear state? Did it do it on its own capability, on its own resources? Not really. The money came from Libya, $100 million in the 90s, and a part came from Saudi Arabia. Bombs came from China, the missile came from North Korea, and the technology itself, the blueprint, it came probably from Amsterdam, where one of the Pakistani nuclear scientists had been working for some time. In the words of its, look at the desperate way in the measures in which Pakistan actually went on to become a nuclear state. In the words of its own Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, Pakistan की जनता को घास की रोटी भी खानी पड़े तो भी हम nuclear state बन के ही रहेंगे. Well, congratulations, kudos to you, bro. Finally, then let's talk about the IMF grants lately. In the last 12 years, what kind of a money they have received from the IMF? $22 billion. Why was this money given? To basically elevate the life of its citizen, to actually spend on building infrastructure and elevating the life quality of its citizen. But where did the money go? Altogether, and all this money was majorly allocated to the defense sector, but even that was not full or sufficient for Pakistan's ever rising defense budget. Overall, Pakistan spent close to $150 billion in last 12 years on its defense sector alone. Do they even have this kind of capability? And do they even is anyone taking care of the national priorities and what the course the nation should be on? So today's why I'm talking about all this. I think Pakistani citizen today needs to understand that how it has completely been failed by its government and by its military organizations. It's time for a great resistance to brew up in Pakistan, and where the citizens understand what lies in future for them. And it's time for a Pakistani awam to rise up, to question the government, to resist with it, to with the military officials, and finally develop a system where Pakistan can live in peace with itself, and let other areas, like let other countries of the world also have a purposeful, peaceful destiny. Completely speaking of today, it looks like a nation of completely misplaced priorities, totally in the hands of people who are not capable of future proofing the country against all kind of problems it is dealing with, and already on a brink of a civil war. Let me not talk about Balochistan, Sindh, and the northern region. I think it's going to be it's going to be a complete grounds up effort for Pakistan as a nation to change its identity in the world and rewrite a future, better future for itself. Otherwise, it will continue to be a menace to everyone and to itself.